John Cena edition of the Signatures and Finishers podcast. I'm your host, D.S. Walt. I am joined by the other tag team partner, the other host of this show, the one that's pretty much is in clear view where I'm still fading out over here. Jamie. And since this is a John Cena edition of the Signatures and Finisher podcast, so the signature five knuckle shuffle and the should I did he call it the FU or did he call it the attitude adjustment now?
It was the FU, and then when they started going to the PG stuff, they changed it to the AA for the attitude adjustment.
So I'm gonna call it the FU.
As you should.
Yeah.
Even Michael Cole dropped it once last night.
Yes, he did. On today's show, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about the John Cena Last match, and we're also going to talk about our founder's favorite memory of John Cena as he officially retired yesterday by tapping out to Gunther in his final match in the WWE and as a professional wrestler in general. Now, the one thing I want to touch on before we get into the breakdown of the match and John Cena, our favorite memory moments of John Cena during his wrestling career. We got to give a shout out to my boy, my brother Jamie over there last week. He got married last Saturday. And look at that. He got the smile on his face. You know what I'm saying? He happy and all.
Yeah.
Congratulations, man. Proud
Glowing
of you.
over here.
Oh, wow.
Just glowing.
Oh, yeah. I see he's all red in the face and all that. The wifey.
That's probably windburn because it's windy as shit out here. And it's cold.
Good old Midwest weather, baby. Can't beat it.
Yeah, now I'm the one blurry and you're the one in focus. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, it goes back and forth, man. They can't make up his mind. We want to keep us in focus or out of focus.
There we go. Now we've got a good balance going.
Yeah. See how long this lasts for. Let's see how long this is gonna last for. But yesterday, after the end of the match is what I want to touch on first because I think that's important to what we want to talk about today. Triple H came out to a house full of booze yesterday. And you go online, you hear the people on social media, they giving it to Triple H, they letting them hear it all over the place. And rightfully so because of his booking this past year. And Jamie had basically you guys the lowdown how he feel about it. If you want to see the simpler version of it, check out the Paul Heyman interview about how to book a show.
You did watch that?
Yeah, I did watch that, and
it's a very simple thing.
Yeah, Triple H was, I don't want to say he was taken back. He was kind of surprised about the boos, and the reason why he was booed yesterday was that John Cena took the loss. Now, I don't know why everyone thought that he was going to win. It would kind of have made sense, his last match without a win. This is the greatest of all time. This is the greatest WWE superstar of all time. John Cena just that type of guy where, hey man, do whatever. I'm pass torch to the next generation. My only problem is I could have sworn he passed the torch to Roman Reigns. Now he passing the torch to Gunther.
It's not even a passing of the torch. It's just dude's like, people are like, how many retirement matches are you gonna have? He's been cleared. He's done. And I mean, based on history, whenever he says he's gonna do something, like he sticks to it. And he said once he couldn't deliver the way he feels that he could deliver in the ring, he's done. He's had probably his overall best matches this year, but he's putting like 100, like he's putting every ounce into it. But like even last night when he was doing his like shoulder block tackles, like he was barely even jumping. Like he's done, and he knows he's done. And it's better to see him go out when he could still perform. Like I was one of the biggest Undertaker fans in the world. Last 3 years, the Undertaker in the ring, it was embarrassing. I would even say maybe even the last 5. It was embarrassing watching him get in there. He was clearly done, but he was still forcing it, and it didn't look good. Cena can at least go out and say that he went out and he could still perform. He went out on top. The only issue I had with the match, John Cena shouldn't have tapped out. He should have just been choked out to where the ref had to end the match. Never should have had him tap out. That's just piss poor booking. And in short term, Triple H will look at it. Oh, this is the guy that made John Cena tap. Blah blah blah. Like that's not going to do anything. John Cena could have held the legacy intact. Could have still lost the match as he needed to because there was no point in John Cena winning the match. Gunther needs it. It's a history thing. When you're the guy leaving the company, back when they had territories, if you were leaving the territory, you lost the match. When you're retiring, there's no reason for you to win a match when you're retiring, especially when you're wrestling somebody that is essentially a face of the company. When it comes to heels, Gunther is a face of the company. He's your big bad. He needed to win. If it would have been Gunther has the IC title and John needs to win it to be the Grand Slam champ or something, okay, then you have a compelling reason that John Cena needs to win that match. None of that was on the line. So it only made sense for him to lose. How he lost was stupid because again, like right before we got on the show, he basically had a smirk on his face when he was tapping out. Like it was like he basically said, "Okay, I've put my 15 minutes into this match. I'm done. Just end it." They should have just had him pass out from it. He didn't tap. Gunther could still say he choked out John Cena. Everybody wins. The other problem I had is Triple H had no business being out in the ring. He already had his moment with John Cena when he did his little greatest of all time speech, blah, blah, blah. That was for the guys in the back and the girls in the back. Triple H that should not have been out there, period. It's again, he's a glory hound and he can't get away from the camera.
I didn't have a problem. Look, I had a problem with the match, and I know John Cena had alluded to that he never tapped out. I didn't have a problem with him tapping out because he was going to lose anyway. So I mean, yeah, I would have a problem with if he would have lost to someone lesser than Gunther. But the one thing I will say is that I wanted John Cena to wrestle someone who needed the boost. I wanted him to wrestle a someone from NXT or someone a young person on the main roster who needed it more. But I understand, this was in the works for a while. And I thought the match was pretty good. I think John Cena gave us everything he had left. I mean, you hear all the time, a leave everything in the ring. And John Cena left everything in the ring for 26 years. He left it all in the ring.
Yeah.
The Triple H aspect of it, as far as when he came out, celebrated with John, the locker room came out. I mean, whether he, I don't know, want to be part of the moment or not, I just look at it as, this is Paul Levesque, the corporate guy, who, basically sending off his probably top performer of all time. The one thing I would say was that I am surprised that I didn't see Nick Khan. I didn't see. I mean, we all know Dwayne Johnson wasn't there. We know he sent this message through social media, but we didn't see the higher ups of TKO. We
Yeah.
we seen CM Punk, we seen Cody Rhodes, but we didn't see all the wrestlers, come to the ring. Um, that I was surprised about.
There's a bunch of wrestlers around the ring.
Well,
There's a bunch.
the everybody from the back. I wanted everybody. I mean, it was impossible. I know the camera people was out there, everybody was out there, but I wanted every single person to be out there. I wanted his family to be in the ring. Heck, I wanted to be in the ring. But I did like the tribute video, even though some of the clips we already had seen. But overall, I just kind of think that it just could have been better. Now I'm not talking about his run, this match. I just think his tribute in general, everything just could have been better. I just felt like there were just a lot of things that were left off. We ain't see Randy Orton. We didn't see Brock. We didn't see none of his the guys that he fought with, the guys he had rivalries with over the years. We didn't see them in the ring. I mean, we seen Punk, but we ain't seen the rest of them.
No, they're still going to try and do, you know, some of the kayfabe stuff. I mean, that's why you only got CM Punk and Cody in the ring because they're the two baby faces. I mean, the fact that they showed the little tribute package with like Roman and Brock, like that was the extent that they were going to do to that. Those guys were probably there. They were probably in the back, but they weren't going to let them come out on TV like that. Which at this point, with them doing Unreal and everything like that, it doesn't really matter. They probably should have been, but it is what
Yeah.
it is.
I mean, yeah, they should have been out there if they
I
were
mean,
there.
again, they're not going to put all those stars in one show for a Saturday night's main event because they're not putting any effort into anything Peacock related. I'm really surprised they let this happen on a Peacock event to begin with because the relationship is basically dead.
Yeah, it is. And again, again, I kind of feel, certain wrestler deserves everybody to come back out there. I mean, I seen a little tribute, at all the wrestlers doing either doing this or holding up sign "Thank you, Cena." And to me, that's cool and all, but it's just not enough. I expect John Cena to deserve better, but yet this is a WWE same company that said, "Nah, John, we don't need you for a full year. We just need you for 36 days."
Yeah, again, that was just stupid. That was for John Cena protecting the WWE as much as he does. He threw them under the bus hard.
Yeah,
That was so bad. Like you could have had a full year of actual John Cena. You could have had the things with Brock. You could have actually built the story with that. You could have had another mini AJ Styles feud build up. You could have had those things instead of gets killed by Brock, doesn't show up for a while, then wrestles AJ Styles, wins, goes right into a retirement match. Like all nonsensical stuff. Like the tribute show, I thought was fine. I thought they would have done a few more interviews with people, like talking about wrestling John. Or the one thing I'm surprised nobody mentioned is the dude has the all time record for Make a Wish by like hundreds, and not one person brought that up like at all.
yeah, I noticed that. That's crazy, man.
All they talked about was the wrestling. You know, some people would be like, "Oh, he's a really good person," this and that. Like, somebody talked about how he stopped and would like, if there was a kid there, he'd stop and like talk to the kid, make the kid feel important. But like, the dude spent so much time doing Make a Wish, and like, not one person brought that up throughout the whole show.
Go to show you how much they care.
Yeah, because I
And
think I think Hulk Hogan's number two now, and he's got a couple hundred more visits than even Hogan had. Because I think Hogan has like 400 and something. And the last time I looked at it, it's been years since I looked, but John Cena back then was at like 700 and something. And that was a good number of years ago.
let's see. Let's see. John Cena holds the Guinness World Record for granting the most for the Make a Wish Foundation with over 650 wishes fulfilled, making him the most requested celebrity in the charity history. He began his work with Make a Wish in 2002 and constantly exceed expectations, having granted more than double the wishes of any other celebrity. And I was actually trying to look up when the last time he made him Make a Wish, but that didn't pop up. But yeah, 650. Yeah, see, I told you I'm out of focus.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nah, man, that's a lot, man. Over 650 fulfilled. I mean, like,
650. I thought it was 750. But
no,
okay.
650, that's a lot. And I mean, he's the most, what they say, he's like the most
He was the most
requested.
requested.
Yeah. I mean, that speaks value. I mean, you know how many celebrities you talking about? Think of any athlete out here there the past. Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, Kobe Bryant, Tom Brady, Barry Sanders, um, I mean, Derek Jeter. I mean, think of all the athletes. Wayne Gretzky. Think of all the athletes in the world, past, present, or time. He overlapped them.
Yep. Curious about something.
What's that?
Oh, I'm looking it up.
While he's looking that up, I want a big shout out crowd to everybody who was in attendance. They were loud, they were voiceless, and they actually made the show a whole lot better. I think someone has said back in the day when I think the last two certain as main event, they called it like it was like a glorified house show. Yesterday, Washington D.C. stepped up, came to the plate, nailed it last night. Even though I feel it should have been in Boston.
They're not. They the timing was just off. They're not going to book a special venue just for John Cena, something like that.
Yeah, I
So
know. And that's the bias of me, man. I mean, you have your greatest superstar of all time. You deny him a 4 year run, a proper 4 year run of a retirement run. You deny him of a good storyline. You deny him good creative. You deny him the venue that he wanted to go out on. I mean, damn. John Cena's just been. I mean, that's the difference between. Oh, oh,
you just deleted yourself.
yeah, I know, man. My camera just like, what the heck?
But it's going to be interesting because AJ Styles has made it clear that he is retiring next year. John Cena mentioned something on one of the interviews he did this week that Brock's probably going to retire at right around SummerSlam.
Yeah,
So you could have two guys. I mean, I think AJ's through most of next year. But still, that's two of your major guys right there that are going to be gone. And they've got to do something with AJ to get him out of this whole tag team thing. Like last night, I knew they weren't going to lose because they're not going to have a tag team champion from TNA and one from NXT split the
right.
belts, but it would have been a good match for them to lose it to. That was the best match of the night.
You know what? I'm gonna shock you with this one. I actually enjoyed the Cody Rhodes and Obi Femi match.
The ending of that match was atrocious.
I mean, they
So
played
I
it
don't remember
safe.
what I
They played it safe.
I
I hated it.
I read something earlier this week. I don't remember if it was on No DQ or Wrestle Votes or something. Basically, WWE acknowledging that SmackDown has been terrible and that they're going to work on correcting it, this and that. At this point, you need to just throw crazy Hail Marys. Best thing they could have done. Now, this isn't a Hail Mary scenario. It's not a perfect scenario, but I would have had Obafemi. Drew McIntyre comes out to interfere. Oba stops him before he gets in the ring. Kicks him, big boots him, whatever, knocks him out of the ring, hits Cody, puts Cody down, wins the belt. You instantly have people interested of what's going to happen on SmackDown. And it wouldn't be Obafemi deserves this. It's, hey, you're getting this out of a product of necessity right now. So you're getting probably one of the biggest opportunities of your life. Don't screw it up right now and see what he can do. If he can't run with it, you've at least got 30 days of people tuning into SmackDown for you to develop it into something. But then it would have a fresh challenger. Cody could go do his thing with Drew. Hopefully, Drew can pummel him one good time, take Cody off of TV for an extended period of time because the fans need it. They still cheer for him when his entrance music hits, but after the music is over, it's much like Jey Uso. People stop caring. So get him off TV. Oba was then opened up to everybody on the SmackDown roster, and you could build him into anything that you wanted to.
Before I get to all that, I just want to say this about Obi Femi. Obi Femi has been part of the WWE for 3 years. Dude didn't have no lick of wrestling skills. In 3 years' time, this guy went from being the North American champion to the NXT champion, not once, but twice. This man made himself to a superstar. Former football player, I think, for the University of Alabama. But this guy, in a 3 year span, has taken a major leap in the WWE. He has been killing it on NXT. Now he's on the verge of being the main roster called up. And if I'm the WWE and you just added that third hour, which on SmackDown on USA, which will debut on January 2nd, I will 100% will try to make some noise. And the best way to do it, yeah, put the title on Obi Femi. People will be engaged. It'll be a shock factor. It'll be more than a moment. You get the masses talking, you get everybody on social media talking, and you said 30 days. I gave him 2 months, 60 days. Let's
I'm just
see.
saying you've got 30 days minimum,
Yeah.
bare minimum, that people are still just going to tune in on SmackDown just to see what's going to happen because it's going to be that whole element of anything can happen. That's the biggest problem with WWE. They're so rehearsed and so scripted. You know exactly what's going to happen. That's why you can watch Raw in 10 minutes. You can watch SmackDown in 10 minutes. You just fast forward to the end. Oh, yep, I figured that was going to happen anyway. There are no surprises. The
No,
last true surprise I think that company ever had is when Raw or Edge came back at the Royal Rumble. That's probably the last true surprise that anybody even cared about.
it was a surprise. It was a risk. It was everything that the WWE needed. And before I continue, I just want to say about this by John Cena and about this entire run. There's a difference between how TKO Triple H done it, in which we seen it, compared to what Vince McMahon would have done. And there's a reason why when you hear guys like John Cena, The Rock, The Undertaker, hey, we love Vince, we miss Vince. You know why they miss Vince and love Vince McMahon, even though he's everything he did. They love Vince because Vince would have done right by them during their last run. We
Oh,
would have
Vince
never
never would
got
allow
this.
this shit to happen
We
with
would have
John
never
Cena.
seen this. I'm not saying like it would have been great and perfect. Vince would have his hiccups as well,
No,
but
but the whole run of Cena, it would have been handled with like great care and
dignity.
yeah. You would not have had a Travis Scott getting involved in, hey, we're going to risk our biggest star of all time getting involved in this thing where this guy can't even show up at half the time to even train. Like that never would have happened.
Yeah,
But
yeah. So I want to correct something when I said Oba Femi. He went to the University of Alabama. He did track and
he's
field
shot put.
there. Shot put title in the SEC indoor track and field champion 21 and 22.
So I
Also
was like,
winning
I
the
knew he did shot put. I didn't know he played football, but I was
no,
like,
no, he didn't play
whatever.
football. In 21 and 20, he also won the outdoor title the year prior. He officially graduated in May of 2022 with a degree in visual arts. So the guy's not stupid, very smart, very strong, and I can bet you he can beat anybody in the race with his size. But I also read something down. It was that everybody's favorite Papa H compares Oba Femi to Brock Lesnar.
He's not Brock Lesnar, but
No, but
he's a special athlete, but he's not Brock Lesnar.
no. I didn't read on the comparison, but I see kind of see where you're coming from. Where you got two guys who are amateur athletes in college, dominate at the sport they played, and you look at both of their size, their athletic skills, you see it right there. But the only difference between the two is that Brock just a badass.
Yeah.
Brock just a badass. I
Like
don't get.
Brock is like a legit badass. Like you
Yeah,
went and left and did MMA. Hey, you did pro football and were actually penalized by the team for being too aggressive. To then just saying, screw it, I'm gonna go play it, do MMA and became the world heavyweight champ. Like he's a badass.
yeah, yeah. And I don't get that same vibe from Oba, but not saying Oba can't be a badass, but
I mean, you
Oba
keep
is a
saying
beast.
badass. I mean, you got Braun Breaker, and I don't think he's a badass in any imagination of anything. But
You know, maybe we'll see one day. Maybe he'll change your mind, but I doubt it now.
no,
Uh,
no.
I really enjoyed the Kobe and Oba match. I hated the fact that they played safe. I hated the fact that Drew McIntyre came and interfered. I understand you got to protect Oba, you got to protect Cody, but here's the problem with the whole thing of that right there. I didn't mind Drew interfering, but it should have resulted in an Oba win, not in a disqual. No DQ, no disqualification, nothing like that. It should result in Drew, Claymore, and Cody behind the referee's back while the referee was down. Oba take advantage of it, doing his giving his power bomb and getting the 1, 2, 3. That's how it should have been.
I still go with my way. Drew should have tried to interfere. Oba stops him. Big boot when he's trying to get into the ring or something. Still finishes Cody off. That way, Cody can go do the Drew thing, and then it frees up Oba to go at somebody new.
I
Because
mean,
Cody will be distracted with the whole Drew thing. Because the last thing I need to see is Drew McIntyre wrestling for a heavyweight title in any sort of future in the near term.
no, I don't want to see it anymore. And it's
And that's why I
nothing.
want it to happen that way, because there would be no, hey, you lost. You're done. Go off to the side. Got a whole new string of people.
Yeah, and I don't want to see it either. Just the fact that they're not going to
I
put
would rather
on
see
Drew.
Solo Sokoa versus Obafemi.
I want to see Oba fight anybody in the MFTs. I want to see Oba and Sami Zayn. I want to see Oba and Carmelo. Let's go ahead and get that out the way. Eh, I want to
Last
see
night would have
Oba.
been a great commitment to say we're going to fix SmackDown. Because yeah, Cody, I'm starting to heavily believe that the Cody cheers are piped in. Because if they were that gung ho to see Cody, SmackDown ratings would not be that bad. SmackDown attendance wouldn't be selling 4,000 tickets.
Man, I still believe the people really don't give a shit about about the SmackDown. I'm being honest.
That's what
They
I'm
don't give
saying.
a shit because WWE don't give a shit.
If you take John Cena off of that card last night, leave
It's
the card the
it's
same,
it's it's,
Cena off.
it's 5,000 people.
That's what I'm saying. You take John Cena out of that card and take Gunther off. You've got Sol Ruka versus Bailey. Who's paying to see that? 500 people.
No, and that was a good match too.
You've got AJ and Dragon Lee versus Leon Slater and Javon Evans. Great match. Maybe 2,000 people.
1,500.
Okay, so now we're at 2,000 to 2,500, and then we've got what's the one I'm missing?
The was it Charlotte Flair in the match? No, no,
No,
no. So Ruka. No, it's just it. Just the 4 matches.
yes. So we got Cena Gunther, Sol Ruka Bailey, the tag match.
Oh wait, did we get Rhea Ripley and Damien Priest? No,
No,
that was
that
on
wasn't last
SmackDown.
night. That was SmackDown.
Uh,
So
Cody Rhodes and
Cena.
Drew McIntyre.
Oh yeah, Cody and Oba, the match we were just talking about. That's
Yeah,
why it was clicking in my head. Cody and Oba, good match. How many tickets is that selling? Because again, Oba's not the biggest name in the world.
five. Okay, so
I'm
that.
thinking maybe 6,000 tickets getting sold.
Okay, so we are what, almost at 10,000 people.
Not even 6,000 tickets, roughly. And that's what I'm saying is like nobody's paying to see Cody. You're having to put all these other people around there. If Cody would have been the headliner, if it would have been Cody Gunther, you're not selling out. You might have because it's a Saturday night main event and people still kind of think that that's a PLE when it's not. It's an over glorified house show. Um, but yeah, I'm fully believing that the crowd noise is piped in for Cody.
Man, I don't know, man. I really don't. I wouldn't be surprised if it was because hey, it was not too long ago they was piping the booze for the Dom Mysterio
Mm-hmm.
heavily, especially overseas.
Yep. And I mean, the numbers suggest that if Cody's getting that much love, they'd be selling out. The Cody hype train died a year ago, and they don't want to admit it because they're paying him stupid money.
And that I think to me is more than just the Cody fatigue. or that everyone is tired of it. I also believe that it's also the WWE fatigue where everybody's sick and tired of paying all those high prices for a show
Yeah,
that where you only going to get 5, 6 matches on a 2 hour show.
2 hour show last night. You got 4 matches. Last night, I would have given it slack because you had a bunch of tribute stuff for John, things like that. That's why I thought we were going to get more like quick interviews, like quick 30-second interviews with like a Roman or quick 30-second interviews with like a Heyman to get it from like the managerial side, the creative side, like just talking about how he interacts with people. You didn't get a lot of that. And you got like the little vignette video of them holding up the "you can't see me" sides and hustle, loyalty, respect, blah blah blah. But it was a lot of vignettes when it should have had more personal touches from the wrestlers, the managers, things like that, actually talking about him. But
Yeah.
I would have cut it more slack because again, you'd be filling in more of the slots with stuff like that. But 4 matches is a standard Saturday night's main event. You only get 4. On a Raw or SmackDown, you get 4, maybe 5 if you're lucky. And yet ticket prices are like $125 for nosebleeds.
Right. But see, if you remember back in the day though, we watched the Saturday main event back in the 80s when it was hot. You had more than 4 matches.
Oh, I'm not disagreeing with you. Trust me. Saturday night's main event was like, that was
Well,
something special to watch when we were kids.
yeah, yeah, it was. I mean, you can call it what you want it. I mean, a glorified house show, which it is, kind of is. But yesterday, I didn't get that feeling. Other than that main events, I got that feeling. Oh man, this is a
Mm-hmm.
glorified house show. I'm gonna get 4 matches. But yesterday, because it was John Cena was special. But I was hoping when John Cena said he wanted what he wanted to see the younger the younger wrestlers come up and wrestle from NXT. I was hoping we'll get more matches. I mean, I wanted to see how Jordan Grace looked like on Saturday Night's Main Event. I wanted to see Ricky Saints. I wanted to see Blake Monroe. I want to
I'm
see,
not sure why they had the tag team match. Again, like clearly they want to sign Leon Slater.
of course,
That's why they're bringing him over. And why wouldn't you? The dude's amazing. I would have taken Leon Slater 100 times over taking Joe Hendry.
you got
Like that whole Hendry thing last night. Like I don't get it. Like he's one of those guys that I'm just gonna say I'm not a fan. I don't see what people like about him.
who Joe Hendry.
Yeah, Joe Hendry. Like there's something that's clicking with people that I'm just never going to relate with. I think he's just the worst. Like he's one step above Jey Uso for me.
Back to the Jey Uso.
I will hate on Jey Uso on every show until he shows that he can actually do something besides the 3 moves of doom that he has. And it's
Yeah.
not just Jey Uso doing the spear. I saw something on Edge. My hate of the spear started with Edge. I just want everybody to know that. Nobody that is lanky should ever be doing a spear. And it started with Edge. That's where my dislike of the spear came from. When Goldberg did it, Goldberg's a big jack dude, played football. He knows how to lay it in. Edge looked terrible doing a spear. Roman Reigns, he has his moments where he has some good ones. He has a lot of bad ones. He has more bad ones than he has good ones. The Usos never do a good spear. Braun Breaker does a great spear. The fact that you're building him up into being your top guy, you need to be telling everybody else, you're done. It's a protected move. Only he does it. But I have a problem with skinny, small guys doing spears. Like Rhino doing a gore wasn't quite a spear. I liked Monty Brown doing the pounce. We talked about this a long time ago,
Yeah.
but the pounce was good. I'd be fine if those guys tried to do a pounce, but they're not big enough to make it look good. Just stop doing it. But that's my little rant. That was my Jey Uso rant for
Yeah,
the day.
that's cool. I liked it. Be honest with you, I like the Rhino's gore better than the spear. That's just me.
I'm a big fan of the gore. Rhino in his prime, Rhino's gore was the best.
I'm just saying. I mean,
I do
I
like Monty
take that
Brown's
over.
pounce
I
though.
take that over a spear any day. Maybe not Goldberg. Goldberg. When Goldberg did the spear, it looked like it hurt it.
He had some good ones. He definitely had some good ones. He also
Yeah,
hurt himself equally as many times as he hurt other people doing the spear. Like
yeah,
he gave himself a couple concussions. I remember reading about. But
yeah. But it looked like it hurt it. But when I see Roman do it, when I see Edge or whoever, except for and Braun Breaker has a good spirit, but everybody else, man, it really makes it look fake.
Mm-hmm.
And shout out to
That's my
Bret
problem with
Hart.
it.
Shout out to Bret Hart who said, "Hey, you can't make it look fake. You gotta make it look real."
That's the whole art of what they do. Um, and it's not hate. Not the tag match was the best match of the night. But again, Cena was very clear. And again, he doesn't get to book the show. But you think if they're trying to cater to a show that he wants to do, that you would have focused on the NXT guys and maybe had an NXT tag team challenge Dragon Lee and AJ Styles. I have no problem. Like I'll watch Leon Slater wrestle all day long. It felt weird to me, but at the same time it makes sense because they did the same thing with Joe Hendry. They started bringing Joe Hendry over to these big spotlight events before they signed him. He got on WrestleMania for what reason? None. But
Yeah.
he was there. He could say he was there.
What did they say? Well, Randy Orton picked him out. Yeah, sure, okay, cool. Randy picked him. Mm-hmm.
And what's Randy been doing? What's Randy done since WrestleMania? Showed up for Cody a couple times.
Haven't seen him.
He would
Haven't
have been a
seen him.
great one to have in the ring last night. You're not going to get Edge. Makes sense. Although Elias was there. I don't know if you caught that in the front row.
Yeah,
Elias was there. Um,
and his brother.
but having Orton come to the ring would have been a big thing.
That's what
I'm
I
sure
mean.
he was probably there, but maybe he wasn't. I don't know. But it seems like a missed opportunity to not have him come out to the ring, especially since he's been riding this whole babyface thing for so long.
I mean, it was just a missed opportunities all throughout this run. I mean, it
What's
just.
going to be memorized or memorable for the John Cena thing is that all the missed opportunities the WWE had, especially when he comes out and says, "Yeah, I offered to do 200 dates," and they said, "No, we just need you for 36." You're telling your top guy of all time, "No, we don't need you. We don't need you. Don't worry."
We believe in the talent that we got. We don't have enough talent there to wrestle you. No, that's dumb. That's about the dumbest shit I ever heard.
And again, like we said a couple days ago, we didn't do the show on it, but we were talking on the phone. If they were pushing all these young guys, pushing Carmelo, pushing these guys up from NXT, and you've got a steady flow of guys, I'd be like, okay, I'm not going to hate on that. They've got too many guys that they're bringing up. What have they done? They haven't done anything. You tell me John Cena couldn't have put over Javon Evans? John Cena couldn't have put over Ovamafemi?
Yeah,
D'Angelo? Any of those guys down there? The guys that are already on the roster, the LA Knights of the world, the
John
Carmelos of
Cena
the
put
world,
over Austin Theory.
and what they do with it.
Nothing.
John Cena has that have accomplished nothing.
You know, I heard someone say this. The perfect storyline with John Cena would have been: I lost 6 in a row. This is my last year wrestling, and I'm going to get that first victory. And that first victory should have culminated to more and more and something special. Like my whole thing was, I kind of felt John Cena should have wrestled for the title in the last match and won and retired with the title
I
instead
had
of.
a, I had multiple things in my head because Cody having the title just irks me. So him losing the title as fast as possible. So I had come up with a couple of different things in my head, but my favorite one that I think I'd come up with was that to kind of pay off Cena losing, a story coming full circle, and giving somebody that's never had an opportunity to actually have a real opportunity. His final match should have been against R-Truth for the title and losing it to R-Truth.
Our
R-Truth could have
truth.
had, the Summer of Kofi thing. You could have done a Summer of Kofi thing with R-Truth. The dude's been there 20 plus years. You tried to screw him earlier this year. The fans revolted on you. You brought him back. You had a hype little story to run with, and then it got sabotaged because the John Cena heel thing ain't working. And what's R-Truth done since then?
Nothing.
You could have put him in the final match, beat John, story comes full circle, beats his childhood hero, which is, in and of itself funny, being that he's older. And then Truth gets a short little run, kind of like the summer Kofi. Just do it in the winter. Maybe you don't even do it that long. Maybe he loses at Royal Rumble or Elimination Chamber or something. Elimination Chamber would kind of be a nice little gap. He doesn't have to outright look weak or anything. Put him out there. But Ron Killings is a legit wrestler, and they've never given him a shot to like main event in WWE.
Yeah, I like the fact that when our Truth went to Ron Killing, he was more serious. He was kicking ass. But then now we're gonna go back to this comedian our Truth, which I had no issue with. I just kind of felt and still feel, hey man, give this guy an opportunity to do something. Get him a
And that's
good.
just one of the variations I came up with. Other than that, he could have his final match. He could have dropped the IC title when they went that route. Could have dropped that to a Carmelo Hayes. Gives Carmelo a boost. Like again, Dominic has the IC title. Gunther wins. Did Gunther need the win? No. Gunther was going to be your big bad regardless. It's kind of like when Brock beat the Undertaker. What purpose did that serve? That's one of Vince McMahon's biggest misses of all time. And then you have him lose again the following year to Roman. It's like, oh, well, I did it for Brock. I have to do it for Roman. All it did was hurt the Undertaker's legacy more than anything. But it's one of the big misses, and it accomplished nothing. Somebody else beating Cena, LA Knight. And I know they don't want two baby faces wrestling each other, but you had Solo versus Gunther. Rikishi was even complaining about it, which his opinion doesn't really count because he's talking about his own kid. But you could have had LA Knight versus John Cena. That would have at least taken LA Knight to another level. And I know they're hating on LA Knight because he's organically popular. They gave him a terrible gimmick. He worked it as much as he possibly could until they reverted him. And then he's built that by himself.
Oh, it just in LA, not that hating on. I just when you look at the WWE now, Triple H, I should say, I truly believe he has a problem with people just organic getting over, and he don't want to push them. I mean,
Well, it's I don't want to say it's a learned behavior, but look at Vince McMahon. If it wasn't a WWE talent that got popular, again, we talked about this a number of weeks ago. Look at the WCW guys. How many WCW guys, when he acquired them, got over
Booker
and got
T,
any sort of push? Booker T's the only one.
and that wasn't even
And I
really.
know you had named off Eddie and Chris Benoit and stuff. Those guys came over before the buyout. We're talking about from the buyout. The only person that had success in WCW, Booker T.
And
And guess what? Booker T's black. Like you didn't know that. Because Vince McMahon was very clear. I only see the color green. And Booker T can make money because Booker T could be funny, he could be serious, and the dude could go. And his feud with Austin was great. That grocery store fight that they had was one of the funniest things that I've ever remember in wrestling.
Booker T, look, his run in the WWE probably wasn't to my liking. The feud with Austin was nice. They put the title on him. Let me rephrase that. They didn't put the title on him. They put the old WCW title on him.
Yeah.
So it's not like hey, he got the WWE title. Nah, bro, he gonna
Oh
stick
no,
to the
they
WCW title.
yeah. Until they did the whole unified title thing, like if you're a WCW guy, you were gonna get a WCW belt. That's just how it was.
Yeah,
And again, Vince is not the end all be all. I can hate on Vince for if you need to do 6 months of shows of me hating on Vince McMahon, I can do 6 months of shows of just me hating on Vince McMahon. There's plenty of things to do it, just wrestling wise, not even getting into the personal stuff. But
you selling no short, my guy. We can do like 5 years hating on Vince.
I mean, yeah, you probably could because it's one of those things you get remembered. If you have one or two things that really hit in your career, that's what people are going to remember. They're never going to remember all the misfires. Like Vince almost sank WWE multiple times out of his own stubbornness, stupidity, short sightedness, things like that. Like you could just keep going on. But he did have an issue. If you weren't a WWE guy, you were never going to get treated the same until you earned your spot like Triple H. He had to stick around for all that stuff, and I'm sure Mary and Stephanie had a big helping hand in that. But he was looked at as a WCW guy.
Yeah, because he
That's
started in
part of why,
WCW.
yeah, he was a WCW guy. And that's part of why they allowed the Ultimate Warrior thing to happen where Warrior smoked him at WrestleMania. It wasn't supposed to go down like that, but nothing really happened because of it. Um, and WCW guys like Buff Bagwell got one match on TV against Booker T. They fired him. Look at what happened with DDP. You made him a creepy stalker to the Undertaker's wife, like one of the
Yeah,
biggest stars in the company at WCW, and you turn him into a creepy stalker guy, and then he gets that weird smiling nick, and then he's done with the company.
yeah. I
Yep.
remember that Buff Bagwell.
Like Chris Canyon's probably the worst of all of it. Canyon was probably the most talented wrestler out of the entire group. And then you have the Undertaker come out and basically murder him with a chair because he did that whole Culture Club Boy George thing because he came out as gay. Then he killed himself.
Rest in peace, Canyon. I remember that Buff Bagwell one match in the WWE. It was like, all right, I'm back to work. I'm excited. I'm with the big boys. All right, Buff, you're fired.
I mean, even look at the ECW guys. I mean, it took the Dudleys how long before they start to get a serious push? They came in and they were doing the whole stuttering thing.
Yeah, and
It took them how long
they
before they
got
got
over.
a real push?
Yeah, and that got over the WWE crowd.
Yeah. The
Organically
only
got over with the WWE crowd.
taking the Dudleys out of it, the only one that ever had a chance to get over was RVD. RVD and the Dudleys were the only ones. Sabu,
Sabu wasn't gonna make it in the WWE. He was too
no.
extreme.
And I watched plenty of interviews with him and things like that. Like he just didn't click with the way that they did things. That's fine. He was never going to.
Sandman was not
Rhino,
gonna make it.
uh, they were never going to give Sandman a legit shot. Nobody ever looked at Sandman as a real pro wrestler.
Right.
And
Uh,
that's I kind of get it, but at the same time, like the dude was properly trained. The dude knows how to wrestle. It just the style of character that he played, he didn't need to do that stuff.
no.
But
Tommy.
again, Tommy Dreamer wasn't a star in WWE by any means. Raven was so drugged out on his second go round that he didn't have a chance.
Perry Saturn.
Saturn, he came over with the whole radicals thing before the buyout. I think if Saturn wouldn't have beat up that guy in the ring the way he did, I think Saturn could have been something really big. And I think with the way he was built and the way he wrestled, I think Vince would have done something with him. He might not have been like a world heavyweight champ, but he probably would have been an IC or United States champ multiple times. Um, but yeah, like you look at any of the other cross promotion, unless you were a mega star, you weren't really going to get a shot in WWE to do anything great because you weren't a homegrown talent until you had been there so long that you just like Triple H again. You just kind of absorbed into it. You got all the punishment of the click and everything else, and you absorbed it. You took it on the chin and you kept going. Now you're a WWE guy.
I got one more.
Um,
I got one more guy for you before we move on to the next one. Samoa Joe. He wasn't part of WCW or ECW. He was just a legit
TNA guy.
badass from TNA, and it's a crime where he never won the title.
Samoa Joe's one of my absolute favorite wrestlers of all time.
And a good friend.
And
People don't know. Also, a very good friend with John Cena, and they broke into the
mhm,
business together.
John Cena and AJ Styles, like the three of them, they nobody really talks about it, but they're really tight. Especially Samoa Joe and AJ Styles. Like they built TNA. And the fact that Samoa Joe never got a proper run in WWE irks me. It's not surprising because again, you look at Samoa Joe, he's not a Vince McMahon looking guy. Again, like I say, Vince McMahon's a size queen. He likes the big 260 plus muscle bound guys. Samoa Joe's a 260 plus guy, just shaped wrong.
It's not even just Vince. I mean, even Triple H didn't get him the
Oh,
run that he
Triple H is a
deserved.
size queen too, 100%.
Yeah, Triple H didn't even get him the run. I get so tired of these size guys. You know, you got to have a certain little be champion. You put a Samoa Joe already proved it. You put the title on the man coming out in the suit, the man dressed for the part, the man is a champion. The way he talks, the way he walks, the way he dresses, the whole presentation when Samoa Joe wins the title, when he comes out, do his interviews, the man, it don't matter what size that guy is. If you put the title on Mick Foley, damn it, Samoa Joe, it, I don't know, man. It irks me sometimes, about the size of wrestler, how do you got to look and all
The
that.
size thing, you say McFoley's funny because I love McFoley. Everybody loves McFoley.
Mhm.
Samoa Joe would out wrestle McFoley any day of the week
We
without
know
even
this.
breaking a sweat. And it's like, yeah, you gave McFoley a shot. Foley had some things he was riding high from, Hell in the Cell, things like that. But like to not give Samoa Joe a run, especially in the late teens when you had AJ, you still had John wrestling more often. You had Roman, all those guys that he could have been feuding with as the champ. He didn't take any of it.
Yeah, yeah. I say it once, I say it again. You put the title on Kane, you put the title on The Miz, you put the title on Bobby Lashley, you put the title on people who you put the title on a bunch of unknowns. And I look at Samoa Joe and it's like, Samoa Joe, that's legit champion. Not saying Bobby Lashley ain't legit champion, he is, but when I say The Miz, I'm happy for him. He's a two-time Grand Slam champion. There's no way the guy can be a face of the champion. Samoa Joe can be the face of a company.
And things like Kane and the Undertaker. If the Undertaker never would have won a heavyweight title or any titles,
He still have a great career.
gimmick that he has, yeah, Kane the same thing. If Kane never won a title, those type of gimmick characters don't need that. Undertaker had something special that nobody would ever replicate with WrestleMania. Having one loss would still have been amazing. Having the two losses, it totally just deflates that entire thing. Kane could have had his own thing. Kane could have never been pinned. That could have been his whole thing. Never been pinned, never be submitted. All of his losses could have been DQs or anything. You find something for those gimmick characters. But somebody like a Samoa Joe, he's he's almost like a new age Chris Benoit. He doesn't need to talk a lot. He just goes in there, does his thing, and does it at an extremely high level. And they just never, I don't know if he just didn't gel with people in the back. I don't know if he rubbed somebody the wrong way, but for him to not ever get any real opportunity in WWE is just mind blowing.
Yeah, I know. It's sickening to my stomach. So we're gonna move on to the next topic at hand, and we covered the booing. We covered. I want to cover this John Cena interview more because, actually, no, we'll do that another time. What is your fondest moment of John Cena during his 26
Oh,
wrestling career?
I think it would be a culmination of moments. I think his feud with Eddie Guerrero was amazing. Like when they did that whole parking lot fight where they lined up all the cars with the headlights on and did like the whole backyard street fight type thing. That was great. I mean, Eddie was just he was perfect at what he was doing. Cena was perfect at what he was doing. It was just like the proper timing of getting those two guys together. Um, if we're talking about an individual moment, just showing how good he was on the mic when he just destroyed Roman, when they were going out of their way to push Roman as this next big thing. He's like our guy. He's perfect at everything, and Cena just destroyed him. I think there was a lot of realness to that. Of like, this is the guy that you want to replace me, and he can't even talk. Like that's probably my favorite individual moment. But when it comes to like a whole grouping of things, I would say the just the Eddie Guerrero feud was amazing.
I enjoyed John Cena when he was the word life John Cena. He's come
Mm-hmm.
out. I enjoy that John Cena because that John Cena to me represent what I believe what a lot of young wrestlers should be: ruthless, aggression, and hungry. his battles with Brock Lesnar during the early battles with Brock Lesnar was some of the best John Cena matches I ever seen personally. Him and Brock going back and forth. Um, who was it? His match with Edge was pretty damn good. His rival with Edge. I'm not his rival with CM Punk and Randy Orton are classic, but to me, it's just something about him and Brock and him and Edge, man. It was just it was magic. It was magic. And I would love to see him and Brock feud one last time. Not a one off. Give you by 18 FUs and or 18 chokeouts and that's it. If Edge was still in the WWE, I would love to see them two battle. But John Cena early years to
I
me, I love.
I think WWE made a big mistake in not reaching out to AEW to try and get Edge to be on the show. Because again, it it's not even like a 1 and 2. It's like a number one and then a number 10. And like 2 through 9 don't exist when it comes
Mhm.
to competition right now. And it's just because of WWE's been around longer. It's a known brand. AEW isn't even a 10-year-old company. They're doing great things and they're still building, but like, what is the harm in Triple H picking up the phone, calling Tony Khan, and asking,
I don't
can
even
we get
think Tony
Edge to
Khan would
show
do
up on the show?
business. I don't
I
think
think
Tony.
Tony Khan would because I saw a couple interviews or read a couple interviews where they asked him. And he said, I haven't been asked. I saw a couple things with Edge and they said nobody's contacted me. Like, what would have hurt? If Tony Khan says no, then you could throw it on AEW and really get the fans behind you if you're WWE. Hey, we contacted AEW and they shut it down. You could have had Edge versus Cena. They shut it down. Because yeah, it's cool. Did like I said earlier, did this help Gunther in any way?
No.
You already had Goldberg. Is Goldberg Cena? No, but he already retired Goldberg this year. So you retired Goldberg and Cena in the same year. Cool. Do you have a belt from it? No. By next week, people are already going to be like, okay, that's done and over with. You've got one show where you can bring it up. You've got one Raw to work with now. But if you had a
So,
Cena Edge, you'd be riding that hype train for a while.
oh man, can you imagine both companies would have made a lot of money if they would have done
Both
business
companies
together?
made a stupid amount of money,
If
and you
they would
could
have
have
done
had a
business
build
together.
up to it. Can you imagine if John Cena, this part never would have happened, but if they could have worked out a deal where Cena showed up on an AEW and
Oh,
then
they would
Edge
have done a
showed up
million people
the
quick,
night before?
easy.
Yeah, you have Cena show up on Dynamite, you have Edge show up on SmackDown, and then you have then you have Saturday Night's main event. One show apiece. Ratings would have been through the roof. Both companies would have made a stupid amount of money. I guess I look at things different. Like WWE wants to be this dominant force that we pick and choose who we want to work with. No, you pick and choose who you want to abuse. What's TNA getting out of you?
You're just
Nothing.
stealing their wrestlers. That's all.
Yeah, you're stealing their talent. You're bringing their talent over. Like, how many more people is TNA going to be willing to send over to WWE, realizing they're basically grooming them to sign with them? You already had it with Joe Hendry. You had it with, and before that, you had it with Jordan Grace.
Yeah, how many times she was in the Royal Rumble?
Right. You had it with Jordan Grace. And so, yeah, not to even discredit her because I thought she was great in TNA. I'm rather disappointed with the run she's had in NXT so far, but you did it with Jordan Grace. You did it with Joe Hendry. You're clearly about to start doing it with Leon Slater because the dude's ridiculously good. Who else are you going to pick from him? Like, they're just going to keep doing this. Hey, we're going to use TNA as our little supplemental development program too. And when we're ready, we're just going to pluck them from over there.
Well, unless they're gonna take over the TNA TV deal they got with AMC. Congratulations to TNA, by the way, for that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if I'm
Yeah, I
TNA,
saw
if I'm TNA, I'm protecting my talent.
100%.
I enjoy the relationship we have, but we won't be making no more appearances.
I didn't read the article, but I saw it this morning. Santino Morella said that the deal was actually a lot bigger than he thought it was going to be too.
That's
So
good.
I did bookmark it. I'm going to have to read it, but yeah, I saw it this morning. He said it was a lot bigger than he thought.
That's good. I'm happy for TNA. TNA, that's that's a long time coming. Now we can watch TNA on a cable station where everybody knows instead of going through the search and finding access
First thing
TV.
I'm If it was me, first thing I'm doing now that you got a TV deal, we're back to a six-sided ring. That would be
Yeah,
the first thing I'd be doing.
yeah,
They're not going to, but that's 100% the
yeah.
first thing I would do.
I think, and I also want to say this though. A lot of content creators don't watch TNA because they think TNA is boring and they couldn't find it. Now we can find TNA, and me and Jamie, you might see us talk about TNA a lot because you know TNA just has some ridiculous good wrestlers over there, and their women's division is probably one of the best in wrestling, and they don't get noticed.
I
But
mean, right now, WWE is shaping up to be the same WrestleMania buildup as last year, so I'm probably going to check out. If I'm watching the same thing as last year, I can go watch JCW, Maple Leaf, and everything else.
yeah, yeah. So the only new to the build up for WrestleMania is that we're gonna get Gunther versus Brock Lesnar. That's like the worst kept secret in all professional wrestling. So what this dude does with Gunther, what it does is that in the between now and whenever they start to build up for him and Brock, absolutely nothing. Absolutely
But you're going
nothing.
to do a Legend Killer run again? We did that with Randy
Look,
Orton.
we seen with Randy Orton. We seen it numerous of times. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't make sense. Now, if the WWE is serious about fixing SmackDown, move Gunther to SmackDown. He doesn't need to be on Raw. He everything on Raw he already accomplished. He did it already. He don't need to be on Raw. Moving to SmackDown, new faces, new challenges, and I'm just throwing out here. If you're gonna do Gunther versus Brock Lesnar and Gunther goes over, you got to start setting up as Gunther being a potential WWE World Champion because right now we got Cody Rhodes under popular opinion don't need to be the champion. If you're serious about building up Jacob Fatu to be your next champion, you better start a feud with him and Gunther. Start making money.
I don't think they're going to do anything with Jacob Fatu on a big scale for a while.
I heard that. And even though the W came out and said no, he's gonna be our top star. He's gonna get a major push in the main event. And but I always go back to in my mind. I think about the video you sent me with Paul Heyman. You got A, you got B. You use A and B to bring up somebody from the mid card level to be C and D. This is just my words, not Paul Heyman words.
Yeah, he's
Get your main
summarized.
event star to work with the mid card stars, so the mid card star could be main event stars. And once you do that, you got four. You do it again, you got six.
Yeah, it's that's why I've been so adamant when I go on here and I say I could fix all this. It's not rocket science. Like Paul Heyman says, this guy wants to beat up this guy. Why do I need people to pay money to want to see that? When you boil it down to that simplicity, it becomes very simple. It's like when you're an adult and you hear kids getting into a fight. What'd you get into a fight about? Well, he called my mom fat. That's all it takes. You build something up that's simple and you just run with it. And to build your stars, like Paul Heyman says, you've got your two guys, your two top guys. You have each of them work with a mid card guy. Well, now those two mid card guys are now top guys. So now you have four top guys. You take two of those guys that are wrestling each other as the main event. You take those other two main event guys and have them wrestle two more mid card guys. Now you have six mid card guys, and you just keep building it. All those mid card people become top level talent. WWE, even through Vince and even Vince Senior, they've always regimented. You're a main event guy now. You're a mid card guy now. You're a sub mid card slash jobber, and then you're just a flat jobber. everybody should be looked at as a main event person. If you can't be a main event person, then what are you doing there? And that needs to be the culture and the logic of everybody's going to get a shot. If you can run with your shot, you do it.
Hmm.
If it's too much for you and you can't do it, you're going to get dropped down. But know that you got your shot. Maybe we come back to it. Maybe your first time was a fluke and you just weren't ready. You might get another shot if you earn it. But if you build a culture that everybody here has an opportunity, I I take it the Lions just scored a touchdown because I don't know what the hell's going on in here. I just hear Susie start yelling.
Go,
Um,
go, 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 go,
yeah, I was
go.
like, what in the hell? I thought something was wrong for a second. So I was trying to focus on what was going on. So there you go. I'm taking it the Lions scored. Um, but you build that culture of everybody's going to get a shot. And they'll say, well, this is a business. We're in a business to make money. They're the first ones to tell you they're making more money than ever. But yet you have the same people stuck in the same ruts, not going anywhere. Everybody's talking about LA Knight's contract status. Oh, LA Knight's going to walk. Well, apparently he signed a new contract last year, so they know. And that's what WWE likes to do. Once they get you with a contract, look at what's my guy? I keep meaning to bring him up to you every time we're texting. He left and then they signed him like a week later before he was about to sign with AEW. And they
Oh,
kept
you talking
saying
about
Escobar.
yes. Haven't seen him.
Where's he been? Got him back under contract. Guess what? Nah, you gotta sit at home for a while.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh,
Like
not to interrupt your rant because it's pretty damn good. Aiden Hutchinson intercepted Matthew Stafford, and the Lions just scored a touchdown.
that is not more important than my culture speech.
I know, but that you want to know why your wife was cheering so loud? That's why she was cheering.
Well, I thought something was wrong at first. I was like, what am I hearing right now? I just hear yelling.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Damn
yeah, yeah,
noise canceling things. I can't
yeah,
hear
yeah.
you.
But Escobar still sitting at the crib after signing a brand new 5 year deal.
But yeah,
They made
that's what they
promises
do.
to him.
100%. Hey, Escobar, we're gonna make you the world champ. We're just gonna wait until 4 years and 6 months in. Just go sit at home for a while. Especially because they even reported that he was at that Raw. He was supposed to make an appearance that night right after they signed him. Nope. Like,
What's the favorite wording? We got nothing for you right now.
yeah, we got nothing for you. Oh, we let him go not because they did anything wrong. We didn't have anything for him. That's a you problem, not a them problem.
I'll be looking like this, like you sure? Cause ain't nothing going on over here.
I mean, if you're not a Mysterio, you're not really getting anything done in WWE. I
Man, they
call a
just
spade
need
a
to go
spade.
ahead and just put Penta, Ray Finnet, and Escobar together and come up with their own little faction and let's
The
get this ball
Mexicools
rolling.
too, if you have to.
Hmm?
The Mexicools too. Just don't have them come out riding lawnmowers again. I mean, if you're black or Mexican in the WWE, you're not getting far.
Oh boy. That you speak no lies on that. With that
I'm
said, that'll be today's
just saying.
show. That'll be in today's show. Me and Jamie back Tuesday because your boy got Tuesday off, and we gonna talk loud. We gonna talk some big stuff because what I want to touch on Tuesday is why does black and Mexican wrestlers don't get the push they deserve. We're gonna talk about that on Tuesday. We're definitely gonna cover Raw because Raw gonna be Raw, and we also gonna talk about how USA, Netflix, ESPN. It's the reason all three of them not happy with the WWE all at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And we're gonna cover AEW because
Yeah, we haven't done
there's some
any.
things happening in AEW that we forgot to talk about. And by the way, to all the Darby Allen fans out there who haven't seen Darby Allen, this guy next to me right here, and anybody else who came out and said, "Hey, Darby Allen gonna kill himself and keep doing these death-defying stunts." You know who heard You know who heard his rant and everybody else ran about Darby Allen? AEW medical team. Darby Allen hasn't wrestled since he got hurt. I got to look it up. What he did he get injured? What he injured? Whatever. But Darby had said something that about the AEW medical staff is holding me out because they don't want me to see me. They don't want to see him kill himself because the way he wrestles. So I'll get more to that story on Tuesday. I'm gonna dig it up because I seen it a couple of days ago. I forgot where I seen it, but I'm gonna have it. We're gonna talk about it on Tuesday. And shout out to AEW medical staff for protecting Darby Allin from himself with stuff he does in the ring. So with that said, Jamie, enjoy the Lions game. I'm finna go hang up some Christmas decorations. You know how we
You're
do it over
slacking.
here.
I
Hey
know I gotta go
man,
watch this game.
I worked 6 days, and then I was down, out, and ill. So
Yeah, I get
I'm
it.
back from the
Well,
dead.
back on a regular schedule with the show. I had a busy weekend last weekend, and Deshaun's been sick, and it's been a whole thing. So we're
Yeah,
back in action now.
we're back. So you're gonna see us Tuesday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Everybody, thank you for tuning in to the Signatures and Finisher podcast. John Cena, salute, and we up out of here. Peace.